G'day everyone, Brian here, welcome to the Japanese Whiskey Review, and we're going to kick off our series of the best $20 Japanese whiskies that I've tasted. These are the ones that came to mind just like that. There's probably others. Honourable mention to Nikka from the barrel, which was around the $20 to $25 mark in Japan back in the day. But I've already reviewed that. So these are the other ones you may not have heard of, but are definitely on the list. We're going to do 3 Nikka, 3 Suntory, and finish off with a Mars. And we're going to kick off with the blend of Nikka. Malt-based whiskey at 45%, and that malt base on the label gives you an idea. It's definitely more on the malt side, malt whiskey, than it is grain. In fact, I don't pick up a lot of grain whiskey in this whatsoever. This one said 45%. There are other versions, different shaped bottles that were 40%. So don't get them confused and go, well, I've had this and it's not as good as what you're saying. You've got to try the 45%. There's also a 17-year-old, which is even a step or two above, but costs a lot more money. So let's go. No, it's very fruity. Red apples, blueberries, very uichi, overripe peaches, sultanas, and papaya or pawpaw, depending where you come from. Fabric softener, it works somehow, and lemon meringue pie. Also, Japanese whiskey bars. I know that sounds esoteric. If you've been to one, you know what I'm talking about. It's a combination of smells in there. The wood, the leather chairs, the smell of the whiskey. They're always more compact. Something about them. But you know if there's somewhere you're familiar with, it's that little taste of this, in this case, a smell of home. On the palate, again, the fruitiness. Some vanilla, wax, salt and pepper. Bubblegum, blueberries, that uichi element that I get sometimes in the single malts. Maltesers, if you get those, they're those milk chocolate coloured malt balls. Leather and a gentle smokiness. Often in Japanese whiskies, it could be smoked, but it comes in late. Opening doors, different flavours, doors open, doors closed. And then on the finish I get oak, light pepper, the Maltesers, papaya / pawpaw, and leather. And then this lingering pillow of light smoke that swirls around the mouth at the end. And then some very, very late red grape as well. So I call it a lovely daily dram. And it would be. If it was $20, if I get that $20 all day long, it would be. If you can get it for that sort of money, even $30, I'd give it a crack. $40, I'd still give it a crack if you can get it on the second-hand market, because they're probably going to fly under the radar compared to some other Japanese whiskies out there. I gave it 86 out of 100. Tasted a lot of Japanese whiskey since then, so it's probably around the around that mid-80 mark, 85, call it. But let's move on to the Nikka Pure Malt series. And outside of the US, these come in 400ml bottles and they ring in at 43% ABV. There's a Pure Malt Red, Pure Malt White, and Pure Malt Black. And I didn't add the red because I don't think it kind of hits the mark compared to the other two in the range. And the Pure Malt Black, I've had so many bottles of this. I found it better and better each time I had it. And even probably better than, or more complex the more I had it, compared to when I wrote these notes. So, nose, loads of malt, touch of sherry, bubblegum and blueberries. This has definitely got more uichi in it than Miyagikyo. Again, probably got some Ben Nevis in it, but definitely this is the uichi base of the pure malts, where the red label is definitely more Miyagikyo based, and pine. There's some earthiness from the light peatedness, light peating, and it's quite lovely on the nose. I could smell it all day long. Palate. I called it light body back then, but the more I have it, it's more towards medium bodied. There's the malt, the bubblegum, the blueberries, toffee, nutmeg, coconut. Yum. Cashews and that sherry flavour in there as well. There's a late arrival of smoke and ash, and I put a la uichi. And then I just wrote tasty, which it is. You find, if you have a lot of bottles, you find more of the sherry influence in it, that's for sure. And basically, the finish basically follows the palate with more of the smoke and ash, so it develops more smokiness and ashiness on the finish. And last word, I wrote ridiculously good value for the money at less than $20 Australian in Japan. $15 US, something like that. Again, it's 500 mils, but come on. What can you even get for $15? I don't know, even at 500 mils. So anyway, let's do the third in this series of Nikkas in the best $20 Japanese whiskies that I've tried. Let's do the white label. Now this one, again, rings in 43%. Now I don't know if this was speculation, but I read at the time that allegedly, because no one will ever know for sure, it was a batting of Yoichi Malt and Isla Malt. I don't know. Probably got Ben Nevis in it, where the Isla speculation came in, but before the big controversy about some Japanese whiskies having also some Scottish whiskies or whiskies from other places in it, this was the first ones they were speculating might have had something different. But anyway, I don't know. Certainly heavily peated compared to the black. Nose. There is a good whiff of peat as well as walnuts, wet moss, leather, sea spray, pepper and wood stain. Also the fruitiness of nectarine. So again, I get stone fruits in a lot of Nikka Whiskies, especially Yoichi. And there's some thyme, there's some lemon that comes into the picture. On the palate, I said nicely oily, and the peat comes through big time on the palate. That earthy vegetal peat. Also charcoal, pepper, and there's a slight bitterness as well. Later sips bring through walnuts, creamy macadamia, and a kind of minted toffee, maybe a minted toffee ice cream. And on the finish, it's medium length. If you have a few sips, or you have quite a bit of this, definitely the finish will lengthen. With the earthy vegetal peat dominating, those flavours that you get from earthy vegetal peat, there's also macadamias, spiciness, and mint. And then it's slightly drying, some oak tannins drying on the finish. I said it was ever so moorish and a real bargain. One for lovers of peaty whiskey. Now I scored it 88 out of 100 at the time. It's probably not quite at that level, but it does rate highly. You know, maybe it is 88. You know, certainly 87, 86, that range. Would put it above the black. Now, would I have the white label over the pure malt white over the pure malt black long term? No, I think the balance of the pure malt black would win me over if I could only have one. But for pure punch, the pure malt white wins. So anyway, guys, that's the first three in this series of best $20 Japanese whiskies. Next up, we're going to do 3 Suntories, and then we're going to finish off with that Mars. Take care. Bye for now.